Oh, they have our names on them?
The video is up and running.
Okay.
Okay, so just
All right.
please be aware that
Yep.
if
Keep it
anybody
on the
says
stomach.
anything near the microphones, they're going to get heard.
Yep.
Okay, so we're good. We got a good signal.
Okay, good.
Okay, baby. All right. Beautiful dress. Yeah.
Go. Go. I heard we had the yeah, check audio. Said, he said, don't talk to him. So I'm live on there. Okay.
Off the street, yeah, you just make sure you're down, right? Yeah, you mind? I know, but I have to.
It does look like you guys are your family. It's hard to tell.
When they read the
Try to kill yourself. I pay a little bit of attention. For people? Yeah, that's all I want. You could have 25 children. I think it's still 25 indoors, 50 outdoors. Restaurant, we were allowed to have 15. So, but we, but it's 15. So, oh, I'm sorry, I mean,
These things all day, I do them all day. There's something to put it back on. There's something to know.
All right, so this is on Zoom, huh?
YouTube.
YouTube. So how many people were invited to be on?
Everyone that was originally invited.
Which is
So,
not many.
I have 150 or so, I think.
So are you taking pictures of everybody yet here? Or
Video.
You're not.
Yeah,
taking, you're not,
video.
But are you scanning everybody?
No, just it's basically just on those 3 pens.
Good. I don't want to be on TV.
Okay. I work with them.
The DJ business?
Yeah.
Now you're in the Zoom business.
Yeah.
It's morphed.
I wish it more fast.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, everybody.
Y'all look like mom. Yeah, yeah. Hey. I think I said hello to, like, this took a long time to say hello to everybody. Are you ready? You know your Baruch was? Dan, right? Oh, it is Dan.
family, friends, we're thrilled to have you here joining us tonight. Both want to say hi to the folks coming in online, and of course, welcome the folks who are here in person. One just sort of housekeeping thing, we ask that you silence your phones if they are on, and we ask that you not use your phones for pictures or anything like that during the ceremony. Leave plenty of time for afterwards for that to be the case. So it's wonderful, I want to say, that even in these times that are extraordinary, to say the least, that we have the opportunity to be together, that we have the opportunity to sit together for this incredible moment to celebrate Eden and all of her work. And what we're doing here tonight on this Shabbat is that we're here with Eden at this moment of sacred arrival. Through much hard work, Eden has arrived at the threshold of Jewish adulthood and is beginning the task of creating a Jewish life of joy and meaning on her own terms. And what we're here to do tonight, all of us sitting here, is that we are here to be holy witnesses to Eden's amazing work. And we are here, Eden, to be with you as your supporters and as your community on this path of Jewish discovery. This is also a particularly special night for Eden to be having her Bat Mitzvah, because it is also about to be the holiday of Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah is the Jewish holiday when we finish our yearly Torah reading cycle. And what we actually do on Simchat Torah, and we're going to actually experience this tonight, is we're going to read the very last words of the Torah, and then we're going to go right back to the beginning and read from the beginning of the Torah. Eden will lead us in that a little bit later. And so one of the questions Simchat Torah invites us to ask, and really any B'nai Mitzvah, any Bat Mitzvah invites us to ask, is what's so special about the Torah? What's so special about it that it's at the center of all B'nai Mitzvah ceremonies, it's at the center of this holiday? And I want to answer this actually with the words of the Donovan family themselves. I had an opportunity to sit with the family this past week, and what I learned from Amy and Ben in particular is that their greatest hope is that Eden and her siblings know where they come from, and to see themselves as participants in the unfolding story of the Jewish people. So what Eden is doing tonight, when she is reading the Torah for us, is connecting us to where she comes from, where her people come from, and helping all of us see ourselves in one way or another as participants in this great Jewish story in which Torah is our sacred beginning. So tonight, Eden will be leading us first in our afternoon and then our evening services. But the real high point of the service is actually going to come towards the beginning, and is going to come with the Torah service, during which Eden is going to share her wisdom about the portion of the Torah that she is reading, and she will also chant from the Torah as well. So with that, I want to invite Amy and Ben to give Eden her talit, her prayer shawl, which is our most sacred garment in Jewish life.
Lord our God, we pray that your protecting and loving care will accompany our daughter Eden wherever she goes and in all that she does. Help her to become all that she is capable of being. Give her strength to do all the good things that are within her reach. Keep her loyal to the best that she has been shown and to the noblest teaching she has been taught.
As a sign of our Jewish heritage, which has been passed on from generation to generation, we present our daughter Eden with this talit. Eden, may its fringes remind you of the religious obligations you assume on this, your Bat Mitzvah day. May you live in such a way that you will always be a credit to the Jewish people. May your deeds find favor in the eyes of God and in the eyes of your fellow human beings. May you be worthy of God's blessing.
I put on this talit as a symbol of my becoming a Bat Mitzvah and as a sign that I hereby take upon myself the responsibility of being a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hitatef b'asitzi.
Amen. so much. Wonderful. So with that, we transition into our Torah service. And just to give you a little bit of context about what we're about to do, we as a people have been reading publicly from the Torah for over 2,000 years. And what Eden is doing tonight is participating in this ancient and central ritual of our people and joining in generations that came before her in reading the Torah aloud. And as I mentioned just a few moments ago, Eden is also going to be sharing her words of wisdom about the Torah portion that she will be reading. And in this, she too joins generation after generation of Jews who have been interpreting the Torah and applying it to her life. This is what it means when we say that the Torah is a living, breathing part of our life. This kind of interpretive work that Eden is going to share with us a little bit later. I'll also mention that this is Eden's second time reading from the Torah, though your first time as a Jewish adult, and the longest amount of text you will have been reading. So it's a real pleasure that we'll have the opportunity to hear from you soon. So with that, I want to invite you, Eden, to share your words of wisdom with us.
Okay. Welcome everybody, and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to everyone that's here in person and watching virtually. For my Bat Mitzvah, I'm reading a very special parsha. My reading begins at the very end of the Torah and continues and ends at the very beginning. My parsha begins with Moses dying and God burying him, making leadership of the Israelites fall into Joshua, son of the Nun's hands. We end my parsha by hearing how God created the world and started making things like night and day, and how to separate the two between dark and light. The part of my Torah portion I would like to focus on most is how the end and the beginning of the Torah can connect, which leads to my question. My question is, how can something that ended turn into a new beginning? My answer to this question is that at the end of something can lead to something new. The end of Moses' life is shown at the end of the Torah, which leads into the new beginning of the world, when God started creating it. So I feel like it could be linked by Moses dying and God creating something new in his place. An experience from my own life that can relate to this can be the world's current situation. We're in a global pandemic, which has created a new way of life for us all. Wearing masks, social distancing, and outdoor dining at restaurants are all examples of how we had to find a new way of life through this time. The world had to end its old way of life and create a new normal. I think that the moral of the story in my parsha could be that the end of something always comes with a new beginning. I would like to thank Hebrew school teachers for teaching me so much over the years, Rabbi Mimi for guiding me through writing this Devar, Charlie for being my amazing tutor, all of my friends and family for celebrating with me, whether here in person or virtually, and finally my parents, Max and Mason, for sticking with me throughout the journey of planning and preparing for this special day. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach and Shabbat Shalom as well. Such wise lessons for our time. Thank you so much, Eden. So in anticipation of your Torah reading, I want to go ahead and present you with your yad. So I'll invite you to stand back up again. And, okay. So Eden, this is a yad that you made. What I want to say is that the fact that you made this yad yourself is a real testament to the relationship you built with Judaism and with Torah all these years, all these weeks and months of years. And so what I want to say is that I hope this serves you well as you read Torah today, and I hope it serves you well moving forward in your future as well. Thank you. All right. So we are going to go ahead and begin with our Torah reading. So just say one more thing about what's about to happen. So you may see in the back table there's actually two Torah scrolls. We will begin reading from one Torah scroll, which is the end of the Torah. And then rather than sort of rolling to the very beginning, we're going to read from a second scroll as well. So there's going to be a little bit of choreography happening before our eyes.
Ya'amdu Rishon, Ya'amdu Baruch Nicol Ben Peretz, Ben Fested Bat Rivka, Ve'achana Fredo Bat Moshe, Shkana Ve'zelder Mila. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMorach, Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. V'lo kam navi od, Yisrael k'Moshe, Asher yida'o Adonai, Panim el Panim, L'chol ha'otot, V'hamoftim, Asher shalacho Adonai, La'asot be'eretz Mitzrayim, L'far'o u'lechol avadav u'lechol artzo, u'lechol hayad ha'chatzaka, u'lechol hamorach hagadol, Asher asa Moshe, le'enei kol Yisrael.
Chazak chazak v'yichnaseh,
Chazak chazak v'yichnaseh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Toah. So we'll now be putting away our first Torah scroll and bringing our second Torah scroll to begin reading the Torah from the very beginning.
Ya'amod Sheni, Ya'amod Menachem Tevyefen, Baruch Nicol V'chana Fredo.
A little bit more. Can you see?
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's a little tall.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach,
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed,
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'haaretz hayata tohu bavohu v'hoshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim vayomer Elohim yihi or vayehi or vayar Elohim et haor kitov Vayavdel Elohim Bein ha'or u'bein ha'choshech Vayikra Elohim la'or yom V'la'choshech karav laila Vayehi erev vayehi boker Yom echad.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet,
Amen. Yasher Koach, Max. Yasher Koach, even for doing the second aliyah on your tiptoes, nonetheless. Beautiful job.
Ta'amod, 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 hashlishi. Ta'amod, yidit perach baruch nekol v'chana fredo, Bat Mitzvah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Elohim, Yehi rakia b'toch hamayim, V'hi mavdil bein mayim lamayim. Vaya'as Elohim et harakia vayavdel bein hamayim asher mitachal larakia uvein hamayim asher me'al larakia. Vayihi chen. Vayikra Elohim larakia shemayim. Vayihi erev vayihi boker yom sheni. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. On a beautiful Torah reading, smooth and with a lot of heart. So wonderful. So now I want to invite up Avi and Ben to share some words with Eden on this incredible moment.
I got the Kleenex ready. All right.
Good evening to everyone who is here sharing an Eden's special day. A huge thank you to Rabbi Mimi and to Charlie for helping us make today a reality despite the many changes and concessions that had to be put in place for a successful and safe event to be carried out. We also want to thank Temple Beth Torah members Michael Stepansky and Michael Fishbane for logistical and video tech support. All of our thanks and love to our friends and family joining us both in person, virtually, and in spirit. Tonight, and really any bar bat mitzvah, is about family and friends, about community, about caring, and about perseverance. But more important, especially in our eyes, tonight is about Eden and the celebration of her journey from becoming our little girl to becoming a strong, independent Jewish adult.
From the moment Eden was born, she brought a sweet love into our lives. Anyone who remembers the toddler Max days will remember that he was, and still is, so smart and a whirlwind of energy. He never slept. He was always talking and talked about and noticed and heard everything, and he was rarely still. Eden, 21 months his junior, was so much like her big brother, but in a different way. She was smart and observant like Max and wanted to do all the things her big brother did, but Eden had a quiet thoughtfulness about her. She was a great sleeper. She liked to follow the rules. She paid attention and she loved to interact with friends. She was the perfect yin to Max's yang. They were inseparable. We always told each of them that the other was their best friend and to be there for each other always. Some people even used to think that they were twins.
Eden was and still is truly a girly girl. Although now she's much more edgy. Everything was pink or purple. Skirts had to be worn at all times despite the weather. The frillier the better. Stuffed animals were and still are her favorite. The softer and fluffier, the better. This has grown into her love for live animals. Our dog Franklin is her best friend. At the same time, she is sporty and active. She has done dance, gymnastics, karate, soccer, and finally settled in as a passionate softball player. We love watching her play. A true teammate, coachable, supportive of her fellow players, reliable, and dedicated. I had the pleasure of being her coach for the first 4 years that she played. She was always positive, attentive, and wanted to be the best player she could be. Everything she does, she strives to be the best she can be. At one time, she wanted to be a veterinarian, but also at the same time, she wanted to be an astronaut. She was and is smart beyond her years, rich in empathy and critical thinking. She has been credited by many of her teachers as thoughtful and insightful and consistently engaged and ready to support others. She is a talented artist. Her sketches and paintings, I know, will someday develop into more than just a hobby with her unique style and designs. She also loves the performing arts. She is in the honors chorus and acted in the Alltown Middle School production of Wizard of Oz last year.
Last year, Eden was chosen by her peers as the recipient of the Rachel Scott Award at her middle school. This award is given to 2 students from each grade at the end of each year. Rachel was the first victim to be killed in the Columbine High School tragedy, and this award is given on the basis of the Rachel Challenge. The challenge is to inspire, equip, and empower every person to create a permanent positive culture change in his or her school and community by starting a chain reaction of kindness and compassion. The Rachel's Challenge program is a tribute to Rachel Scott and her enduring message. The qualities that students must demonstrate are looking for the best in others, eliminating prejudice, dare to dream, choose positive influences, use kind words and actions, and that creates huge results. We could go on. Eden is all the good things that make up Ben and I won't do it, and Max and Mason, and the family that's come before her, and then some. I know that her limits will be set only by her, and we expect so many amazing things as she continues to grow into a beautiful young woman. Being a girl who held a very close relationship with my grandmother, Eden being named after her meant so much to me. She actually has a lot of my grandmother Edith's characteristics. She likes her food plain, for the most part, sauce on the side, doesn't like ketchup, and her feet are always cold. My relationship with you, Eden, continues to grow from love and friendship. I have always told you that you can tell me anything. I treasure our mother-daughter moments more and more as you get older, and I hope our bond continues to strengthen as you come into new and exciting challenges. I hope you will continue to need your mom around to help guide you through.
Like Amy, I also had a close relationship with my Bubby Flora and see many similarities between Eden and her. Bubby was an academic and had a love for school and education. It is rewarding to see how hard Eden works and takes so much pride in everything she does. Eden, you are an inspiration, and every day you make your ancestors proud. Eden, Eden, you will always be my little girl. When I think of you, I will always think of my favorite picture of you holding Teddy in your Starbucks strawberry and cream smoothie. You are destined for greatness. I will always have your back and be there for you. Unlike Mom, I don't need you to tell me everything. But know that I will always be there whenever you need me. I'm so proud of you. Mazel tov on your bat mitzvah, and may all your dreams and aspirations come true.
What beautiful words, and I know I feel just grateful to have been led into this beautiful family relationship. I'm sure there are other tears flowing back there as well. So really, thank you. So now, we've been standing a lot, Eden, but I'm going to ask you just to stand once more. Who's my friend? I want to share a few words with you as well. So first of all, Yasher Koach. Like, what an incredible job you've already done. It's clear that you worked very, very hard and really applied yourself to this. And you really shine already. You really shine. So you and I are only just beginning to get to know each other. And I can't help but notice a few sort of qualities about you already that I think are so wonderful, and I couldn't help but want to lift up today. And one, they're both related to Jewish ideas. What can I say? I am who I am. They're both related to important Jewish ideas. So one of those ideas is captured in a song that we're actually going to sing at the end of the ceremony that's part of Havdalah. And the words of the song go like this. Layehudim hayta ora v'simcha v'sason v'ikar pen tia lanu. The Jewish people had light and happiness, joy and love. May it be so for us. Eden, in just our few conversations, I've been struck by your incredible zest for life. I've seen how much joy you get from spending time doing the things that you love to do most, whether it's softball, whether it's making art, whether it's spending time with people you care about. It's such a Jewish thing to live your life with so much joy and so much light, and it's a wonderful thing to see. The other idea comes from the Talmud, and it is related to the first idea as well. And the words in the Talmud that I'm thinking of are the words Gamzu Latova. This too is for the good. What I have seen in you, Eden, as this bat mitzvah just changed in a dramatic way than what you expected, is the way that you were able to find the good in it. The ways that you were able to be strong and resilient in the face of some disappointment. And you really showed all of us, I think, as an example of what it looks like to take things in stride and to see the good. In fact, that was the basis of your entire Devar Torah, and is such a beautiful quality to bring into the world. So, Eden, I want to say, with all of that, I hope those traits really live with you and guide you in your journey ahead. May you go from strength to strength and find meaning and joy in all aspects of your life and in Jewish life as well. Know that I'm here for you as you're continuing in your process of Jewish discovery and Jewish exploration. My quote-unquote Zoom door is always open. So, Yasher Koach again, you did a wonderful job, and you made it. Congratulations. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and transition back into our prayer book and continue with our afternoon service. We continue in the book on page 233, and I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei rabbav ve'almati rakuteh ve'amlik malchuteh ve'chayechonu v'yomechonu chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala bagala u'bizman ha'aril ve'yimru amen Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam le'olam le'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yishramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalel shmei l'kedusha v'yechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'yeru amen. We remain standing again in body or in spirit for the Amidah. We also welcome the wind. We hope you don't get any stronger than this, but we're happy that you're here. So we are on page 242b in the book on account of it being a festival as well as Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah And we continue through page 246. We continue individually. Continue on page 247. And you may be seated. And I invite you again to rise in body or in spirit for the Aleinu, our prayer for wholeness and peace. We're on page 248, and I invite Eden and Amy to lead us.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei gedula v'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzon, v'lo samanu kishbekol kadama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu kori, v'mishtahavim urodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlavim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, she'emunot hashamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'moshe v'karov hashamayim yima'al, u'shli hatuzo, v'kaveh eroni, u'elokeinu einav, elokeinu ha'mesuato, hakatu v'torato,
minutes of our service. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit if you are commemorating a Yortzeit or if you're in mourning. I want to particularly mention that this weekend is the Yortzeit of Amy's father, Mark, and we know that he is here with us tonight and is so proud of you, Eden, and is just overjoyed to be able to be with the family on this. And we transition now into our evening service. Being outside, we see the day beginning to turn into night. And with that, we begin our evening prayers. And we are hopeful that the wind does not over everything. We'll see. So we're actually turning back a little bit, and we're going to go to page 28 for our beginning with the Baruch. So again, on page 28. And I'll invite Eden to stand up as she'll be saying the English portion of this prayer after we do the Hebrew. Page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We'll continue in English.
Praised are you, Adonai our God, who rules the universe. Your word bringing the evening dusk, you open with wisdom the gates of dawn, design the day with wondrous skill, set out the succession of seasons, and arrange the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Tzivaot, you create day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Eternal God, your sovereignty shall forever embrace us. Praised are you, Adonai, for each evening's dusk.
Amen. And we'll continue with the Shema on page 30, our prayer that affirms the oneness and interconnectedness of all life. And for that, I invite Eden to lead us.
Okay. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ya'afta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol v'chol nafshecha, v'chol meyodecha, v'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele, asher Anochi etzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'betecha b'derech, v'shavtecha u'vemecha, u'shartam leot al yadecha, v'chayu letotafot
Well, the second paragraph of this prayer was all about winds and rains, so I think maybe we sung something unintentionally. But we'll end this prayer on the bottom of page 31. Adonai Elohechem emes. And we'll continue on page 32. Umalchuto v'ratzon kivlu aleichem, Moshe u'bnei Yisrael achanu shira, v'simcha rabba v'amru kulam, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora she'ilo tosef eleh, malchutecha ra'u banecha, Bokeyam lifnei Moshe, Zayli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar ki chad Adonai et Yaakov, u'ge'lo me'at chazak mimenu, baruch ata Adonai, Ya'al Yisrael. And we'll continue in English on page 33. I invite Eden to lead us.
Help us, Adonai, to lay down in peace and awaken us again. You're sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Move the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us. Your gracious and merciful ruler, guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Amen. And we'll continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 34. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba, ve'alma divra pirutei ve'amlit malchutei, ve'chayechonu yomechonu chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, ubizman karid, ve'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mubarak, le'olam u'lom me'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitavel, shmei kedusha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damira le'alma, v'yimeru amen. So I invite you to rise again in body or in spirit. We are now at our evening Amidah, and we are on page 41b. We're going to do this individually, and I invite you in this moment to use the words on the page or the words on your heart. Perhaps this is a moment to send sort of energetically your blessings and wishes and mazel tovs to Eden as well. So we are on page 41b, and we will meet again on page 48. v'yikadash shemei rabba. Ve'alma v'yiratu teve v'lichmachute b'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayigachol beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach v'alma v'lo ne'omaya yitvarach. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalach shmei kedusha v'yichu. Ewa min kol v'chata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata ta'viran ve'alma v'yimeru. Amen. Kitkava fod ha'nevaton b'chol Yisrael kodam avuhon v'yishmaya v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shlam arama mishemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'chol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'rama v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'chol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. And we'll continue with our Aleinu for the evening service, which is on page 51. And I invite again Eden and Amy to lead us. You get a second? Take two. No?
Yeah, we rise, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
My apologies.
Please rise.
Please rise in body and spirit.
The consensus is rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzon, velo samanu kishpachot hadama, shelo sam kelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yosef haaretz, u'moshe v'karo b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, v'gavei meromi, u'Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efesu hato, hakatu b'torato, v'datayom v'hashivota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, ve'al ha'aretz mitachat einod, katu Toratecha, Adonai yimloch li'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. And we'll continue with our final mourner's Kaddish of our service, which is on page 52. Again, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit if you're in mourning or commemorating a yortzeit. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash v'nei rabba, ve'alma divrach v'yiruteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayefon v'yamechon v'chayeh v'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kari v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam lo ne'omaya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha v'yichu, le'ela min kol virchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'chol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'molad u'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'chol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. You may be seated. Now we have a tradition at Temple Beth Torah in our community here that after we say the mourner's Kaddish, we open up the space for anybody in the community to share something for which they are grateful, for something which we might say what's called the Shehecheyanu blessing. So I want to actually do a special sort of Eden Bat Mitzvah edition of the Shehecheyanu time. And I want to invite anybody to share either something they're in general they're grateful for, or a wish that you want to send to Eden on this incredible day based on all this incredible work. And I'm sure there'll be time later to shower her with praise and with love, but thought we would have a little taste of that in our traditional community time of doing so. So anybody is welcome to stand up and share, and if you do so, since you don't have a mic, I would suggest projecting.
Yeah.
All right, high praise, high sibling praise.
This is really to myself, but I'm grateful for everyone that's here and watching.
Oh.
Wonderful. Add that to the Shehecheyanu pot. Wonderful.
Thanks, Miss.
Mason, a good round of applause. That's wonderful. Anyone else want to share at this moment? You don't have to, but want to make the space available. All right, and I am grateful that in spite of it being October 10th, we were able to be out here and we were able to celebrate this incredible moment with all of your family and with you, Eden, and to recognize your incredible work. So if anybody wants to join me in this blessing, you are welcome to do so. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'hihiyanu l'zman hazeh. We thank the Holy One of Blessing for allowing us to have reached this incredible moment. So with that, I believe, and the sky is sort of suggesting this too, that it's time to begin turning towards Havdalah. And let me tell you a little bit about Havdalah, which is, one of our most beautiful ceremonies and rituals in our tradition. Now Havdalah, so Havdalah fundamentally marks the separation of holy time and not as holy time. And so it's something that we do between Shabbat and the weekday, it's something we do between the holiday and the weekday, it's something that we do between Shabbat and the holiday. Okay, so this is the Shabbat and the holiday version that we're doing tonight. And in that sense, Havdalah is one of our greatest transition markers as a people. And what better of a ritual than to mark this incredible transition that you have already launched yourself into, Eden, this transition from sort of being a Jewish child to starting on the path of Jewish adulthood in and of for yourself. So for that journey, one of the things that Havdalah gives us is a few gifts. Havdalah has a number of gifts, and we're gonna use them in just a second. But it gives us the gift of sweet spices and sweet grape juice or wine, so sweetness for our journeys ahead, sweetness for your journey ahead. It also gives us the presence of light with the candle, as well as the presence of the Holy One of Blessing, who is always here with us as support and inspiration on our journeys moving forward. So with that, I want to invite the family up here. I'm actually going to switch places with you, and I'm going to go to that mic, since you all are handling these things. And to follow along, we are on page 299. All right, that way you can keep your masks on. I'm just going to switch very briefly. All right. So again, we are on page 299.
chances to make this happen.
So we're going to go ahead and light the Havdalah candle and begin in just a moment.
One down.
That's one.
You had 6 chances.
6?
Here comes the wind.
I don't think it's going to
And we will do our best with the wind. We will do our best with the wind.
All right.
Ready? And our first blessing over the wine. I invite Mason to lead that.
Go ahead, buddy.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. And we don't drink the wine just yet. We save that for the end of this ritual. But we continue with our blessing over spices. I invite Amy to lead us in.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim.
Amen. And go ahead and smell those spices. Take in the sweetness of those spices.
It smells like
spices.
Beautiful. And now for the blessing over the light, I invite Ben to lead us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei mirarei ha'esh.
Amen. And if I could ask somebody to lift the cup of wine as I say the last blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, ben or lechoshen, ben Yisrael le'amim, ben yom hashvi, l'sheshet yemei ha'maser. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. And you are invited to drink some of the wine or grape juice, whatever it is.
She's such a good girl.
And you are welcome to blow out the flame as well of the candle.
Casey, you want to blow it up? It's
I
going to be hard with
need
the
to take
mask.
the mask off.
There you go.
Beautiful. Yasher Koach to all of you for leading a beautiful Havdalah. We're going to switch back and we're gonna do a closing song for Havdalah.
Yep, go back to
A surprise closing song. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sing sing our closing song. Now you may recognize these words from the words I shared, the blessing I shared with Eden, and they're on the little page I handed out to you earlier. This evening, the words are LaYehudim Hayta Ora V'Simcha V'Sason Bikar. The Jews of old had light and happiness and joy and love. Ken Tia Lanu. May it be so for us. I'm going to sing it once, and then you can feel free to jump in on the tune with me. LaYehudim Hayta Ora, Hayta Ora, V'Simcha V'Sason V'Ikar. LaYehudim Hayta Ora, Hayta Ora, V'Simcha V'Sason Thank you everyone for coming, and have a lovely rest of this simcha. Oh yes, of course, and we will be capping off our ceremony with hamotzi, with a blessing over the bread in anticipation of a meal being eaten, and I invite Max and Amy to lead us in that.
I'm not ready for this.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. I can't eat with the last one. Papers. Excuse me. Stop whining. Yeah.
You've been trying.
I'm scared.
If anyone wants some coffee.
Ooh, scary.
You did fine.
No.
No, not really.
Nah, not into it.
What?
Good.
Keep feeling that way for a very long time.
I almost forgot to give you the certificate that this happened.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
So cool.
Yeah.
We made it through. Everything stayed on the ground.
That did not take
Even
it.
the time that it didn't, it was okay.
Everything stayed on the ground in
Could've
the
been
max
way
for the
worse.
most part.
It's okay. We saved it.
My whole life flashed before my eyes. I got so scared. I was like,
We'll see you soon.
There's no coming of age ceremony without a life.
How would you feel? Correct, absolutely.